We are back with the lovely Dr. Camille Alleyne. Camille, why do you believe historically uh, so few women were in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics?
Um, Cultural norms
Hmm.
to start with, that must be challenged. I think young girls don't see themselves represented in these fields. And so it's hard to believe that you can actually do something if you don't see that it's been done before. It takes a very strong, driven person to actually blaze trails like that. So that's one thing. A lack of, and so that's a lack of role models and a lack of mentors for young women. Um, and just the belief that they can do it. Like in school, it starts before high school, but really in high school it becomes important. So how these subjects are taught really from kind of a male perspective, and not taking the differences in learning amongst the genders into consideration is a big deal.
Hmm.
The lack of maybe experience, real world experiences, being working, maybe doing a summer internship or job, even in high school, working alongside a real world professional scientist or engineer is a big deal. And a lot of young girls don't have access and opportunities to do that. So there are a lot of these cultural norms that are barriers and need to be challenged.
How how much of an impact has mentorship had on you, on your personal life?
Mentorship is very important, because you don't know what you don't know, especially if you're young in your career.
Hmm.
And so it's important to seek out people who have either who are either in a position that you aspire to be in, or even if they're not in a position that they've aspired to be in, but they have been very successful in their lives, learning from them and seeking guidance on how to maybe navigate different, you know, career minefields, is really critical to um, the progression of anyone's career.
How do you, or have you ever been in a situation where you had to make the case or convince a parent or parents perhaps who are resistant to their girls um, getting involved with STEM, with science, technology, engineering, mathematics?
I have not.
Hmm.
Um, I mentor a lot of young people who, well, I don't know if they never thought they can do it, but by that time they've decided maybe this is something I could do because I see Dr. Camille doing it, or this one or that one, and so they will seek me out to ask, for guidance on maybe majors in college, or different courses they should take to prepare themselves for college and majoring in these fields. But
What?
I would say my experience in Kenya years ago, I went there one summer to volunteer, and we would go into secondary schools and we'd work with the students, on science concepts, in really practical ways, using very accessible materials that they would have access to. And I know the young women that I came in contact with really, um, were empowered to pursue uh, science and engineering majors in college, which they otherwise didn't even know they could do. So that was really a very inspiring, um, experience for me.
What would be a dream come true for you in regards to the Caribbean and STEM?
Sure. Um, two things. One, that we kind of transition away from rote memorization and focus on the exams, the CAPE and the CXC, I guess is what they call it, and focus more on developing critical thinking and analytical thinking and problem solving skills in high school. And that takes adding, different elements to the curriculum that's not there now. And the second thing is really the Caribbean getting involved in space and satellite technology, that would aid in sustainable development of that region. Those are two things.
What is one message you would like your career to say to young girls from the region about you as a woman?
That with hard work, determination, fortitude, tenacity, and a belief in yourself, anything is possible.
You believe in teaching young girls to find their voice.
Absolutely.
And to dream big dreams. What is that about? Explain.
So I think a lot of young girls grow up. We are reared to, not necessarily speak up. It depends. I'm not trying to generalize, but you find this a lot. We are not ready to speak up, know your place, especially in fields that are male dominated. You don't have a voice. And so that's not true. We all have a voice. And it's important for us to find our voice and use that to serve, humanity.
Have you ever been dissuaded from this particular career path when you were in school and college or so on?
Say that one more time, Sal.
Have you ever been steered away from pursuing this particular career while you were in college, like a guidance counselor or something saying, no, this is not possible?
No.
Okay.
I wasn't steered away like that overtly. But what was hard was not having support in college. I think I was probably one of 3 or 4 girls majoring in mechanical aerospace engineering at Howard. At the time, I didn't realize all my professors were male. And so the support for helping us get through this really challenging field was not there. So I wouldn't say I was steered away, but, not having a lot of support and mentorship is another form of,
What are most people surprised to learn about you when they get to know you, Camille? That you have a very humorous side?
There are many things I love besides space.
Like what? Give us one.
Oh my gosh. I have an artistic brain. Oh, so one thing they would not realize is that I build like woodworking. I don't do it now because I don't have a lot of time, but I used to do a lot of woodworking. And if you come in my garage, you'll see all my tools and stuff like that. So
wait a minute. Hold on a second.
All that stuff. So yeah.
You do woodworking?
Yes.
What are few things you've built?
Oh my gosh, I built furniture.
What?
I've built a bed. I've built
A bed.
A bed.
Well, I mean, with someone who has um, hmm, guidance and control systems, celestial mechanics. I mean, a bed. It's like
but if you think about it, it's how your brain works. I have a really analytical brain, and so the same skills that I use to do my job are the same skills that are needed to read instructions or solve problems. I'm a problem solver. That's what I was trained to do, and that's how my brain works. So it translates to different fields.
have you ever built anything mechanical that was not for NASA?
I used to when I was a kid. Actually, at home, I would when things broke around the house, like appliances and stuff like that.
You can
I
fix
always
that.
say my mom wasn't calling my dad; she was calling me to fix it. So I would take things apart and build them back together.
If you had the chance, now, you have this woodworking shop in your garage and so on. But if you had a chance and to build something mechanical, right, or some kind of a rocket, or what would you build? What
I
would
will
you?
build a cube satellite, a mini satellite,
You would.
because that's a big deal now. That's a really big deal in the area of space commerce and the commercialization of space, not just by big governments, but by private sector. And so, yeah, I would totally do that.
Wow. So someone calls you after the show tonight and say, "Look, we are working on this project to build one of these." Would you take them up on the offer?
That's a loaded question.
I know.
It depends. Yeah.
Looking back on the long arc of your career, what are some defining moments to you, or one particular defining moment?
Oh my gosh, one particular defining moment. Whew, I think I've had quite a few. I would say being a finalist for the astronaut program.
Wow.
And if you know anything about that, it's literally one in a million. And so NASA would put out a call every few years, and they get all these applications. Usually, they were averaging 6,000, 8,000. This last time they got 18,000 applications. That's crazy. But in my year, they select 100 out of those 6,000 who they know are highly qualified and really could do the job of flying in space. And then they invite them for an interview here at Johnson Space Center. And then they would select a small cohort of 8 or 12 or something. And so I was one of those 100 who, at the time, I was living in DC, and I was invited down to interview for the job of flying in space. That was a huge deal. And even though I didn't make it, the final cut, it just showed it was a major, major accomplishment to even get that far. So that is one of the bright spots.
What gives you satisfaction in your field today?
That we are pushing the boundaries, that we are taking risks, and we want to push the boundaries of space.
If you were
and really accomplish things we've never done before. Eventually, we want to be able to send the first set of humans to Mars. That's never been done before. So we're constantly pushing forward and discovering new things.
How do you feel about that? How possible you think it is?
Probably not in my lifetime. But I hope in my daughter's lifetime. I mean, I feel like the next generation are the ones who are gonna get us there.
Wow.
expand humanity's place in the universe.
If you had to go to your favorite place to relax, with your favorite book, favorite drink, favorite music, where would this place be? What will you be reading? What will you be drinking? And what will you be listening
That's hilarious.
to?
I
I
have
told you I'm going
many
to twist this
favorite
jam a
places.
little.
The beach is definitely like the water, the ocean is like a big deal for me. So that could be anywhere around the world. But I love Tobago, of course.
Uh huh.
And I love Cabo, Mexico is one of the most gorgeous places I've been. So you may find me there. Reading a biography because I love biographies or nonfiction. And I'll be drinking. What would I be drinking? I don't know. If I was in Trinidad, I would be drinking. Oh gosh, now I forget what they call it. Those. It's not beer, but the shandies.
Shandy, okay, okay. And what will you be listening to?
I'd be listening to R&B.
R&B. Mm. So who is Dr. Camille Alleyne on a regular day relaxing with family and friends versus Dr. Camille Alleyne, the rocket scientist showing up for duty?
Say that one more time.
Okay. Who is Dr. Camille Alleyne on a regular day relaxing with family and friends versus Dr. Camille Alleyne, the rocket scientist showing up for duty?
In both instances, I'm really passionate.
Uh-huh.
When hanging out with friends and stuff, I'm like all in, you know,
Uh-huh.
talking about whatever is important at that time. And that's the person that shows up for work. I mean, I'm really passionate. And sometimes I have to catch myself and be like, you know, you got to temper that because some people don't react to that very well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, you know, but I would say actually, yeah.
To say you're brilliant and accomplished, you know, is an understatement. But I'm curious, what surprised you the most about your accomplishments?
That I came from this small dot in the Caribbean Sea, literally took an unlikely journey to the front line of America's space program.
Mm.
That's mind-blowing.
Every moment of our lives should be spent chipping away at the wall that keeps each of us separate from the rest of humanity. Your words. How does that, I mean, what does that mean to you?
It means connecting to human beings, regardless to where they're from, what they look like, what language they speak, whatever, that we are all human beings, and connecting to the humanity within each of us is what we should be striving for versus looking at the differences or looking at competing. We should be looking for those things that bring us together and that we share as a common humanity.
Do you recall any special words of wisdom from your parents that helped to shape who you are today?
Oh my gosh. Always work hard,
Mm-hmm.
but always remain humble. And even today, my mom always tells me that, you know, always remain humble.
for those days when you didn't feel like getting up. And this is just for the young women, the young ladies that are listening to you here tonight, or probably will be listening to you later. Um, when you don't feel like getting up and doing what you're supposed to be doing, who or what got you out of that mindset?
Who gets me out of that mindset?
Yeah, who or what?
What gets me out of that mindset is the work that I am committed to doing. It's commitment.
Mhm.
Commitment to making a difference gets me out of that mindset.
You mentioned you love nonfiction books and biographies. What are three books you would recommend to any group of girls to read?
The autobiography of Dr. Martin Luther King is one of my favorites.
Uh-huh.
Um, Unbowed by, oh my gosh, now I'm like having a blank. Nobel laureate, female, deceased from Kenya, Mathai. I forget her full name. That was, her life was fascinating for me. And I love Einstein. I've read several of books that documented his life. So any one of those Einstein books are really, at least for me, very fascinating.
When are you most happy?
When my daughter is thriving and excelling, and when she's happy.
What are you most proud of?
I'm most proud of my daughter.
Mm. What are you most thankful for?
I'm most thankful for the journey I've had and the opportunities that I've had, and an awareness of that journey to the point where I can use that to make a difference in people's lives by sharing that journey.
If you could go back in time, what will you tell that 16-year-old girl?
Oh, I said this the other day at another speaking thing. I would tell her to not let fear get in the way. That fear is a natural part of who it means to be human, what it means to be human being, and you acknowledge it, but you don't let it stop you. That the definition of courage is going beyond your fears. And so that's what I would absolutely tell her.
What is next for Dr. Camille Alleyne?
Oh my gosh, I don't know if I could say that in public.
Would you like a pass then?
It's something big that has to do with the Caribbean. Development work in the Caribbean.
Oh, okay.
And I would like to be an author. I would like to write a book. So
Well, we're looking forward for that book, Camille.
contemplating that.
And my last question. What makes you laugh out loud? Did I get you with that one?
Just pure goofiness.
Huh?
Goofiness.
Goofy.
And
Oh, man. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your time with us this evening.
Thank you, Selwyn. It's always a joy to be able to
Good night,
share my
Camille.
story.
Good night.
Good night.
Some trust in horses, some trust in chariots. but I'll remember the name of the Lord.